Everything I do is whoa.
Hey man, say man, we are back with another video. Today is Monday, November 18th. If you don't know, last week was my birthday, and last week was actually a beautiful week. Beautiful week. We went 4-0 on the week. We did take losses, but the day that we took a loss, we took 2 trades, and that second trade was a winner. So we ended the week with 4 W's, right? 4 days, 5 trades, 4 trades, 4 W's, right? Hold on, let me turn this off because it's hotter than a bit. So today I'm going to break down 2 trades that I took. I took one on CL and one on YM. The first one that I took on CL, it hit TP. I actually got out early just because like my emotions through it was not what I wanted it to be. I was very anxious, and I'd rather it just take off without me than that feeling that I'm feeling. I'm always anxious, and I want to just hurry up and have my hand on the button to see if I want to get out or not. Like, I don't like that feeling, right? So I just end up getting out, even though it did hit TP. So I had grabbed maybe like $500 off that trade, and then I took another trade on YM and ended up giving me another $500, maybe $600 on that trade. So we are on my PA account, so this is live money I'm trading with. So I'm super picky on what I'm trading and how I feel when I'm in a trade. That's why I got out of the CL one. Normally I probably would have taken the trade on CL even through those emotions, but it being my first day on the PA, I did not want to have that being that feeling, right? So I'm a big proponent on, trading should be calm, easy, you know what I'm saying, cool and collected. So if that's not how I'm feeling, I'm getting out the trade. But nevertheless, let me hop into the trade breakdown today. You never know, I might do some live trading the remainder of the week, depending on how I'm feeling and depending on how the market looking. Regardless, I'm going to stick to my plan, obviously, because we're in that phase where it's not just about passing, it's about actually getting that money in. So we're gonna follow our rules, and we're going to do what we need to do while still sticking to that plan that I told you guys I was doing, the 90-day arc. We still on that. We ain't changed. Ain't nothing changed. We still grinding mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, right? We're still doing everything we're supposed to do, which is why I was able to potentially pass in about a week. You feel me? Just because I was super focused. But nevertheless, let me stop yapping because I know that I love to do that. And let me show you guys this trade on CL and YM. All right, so the first trade I took was going to be on CL. And CL, I'm definitely still bearish, but I want price to come into a premium before I continue to take sales. I think right now we have taken a low, so we're probably going to come and try to take a high. I'm looking at this particular area here, which I believe is a 4-hour. Yep, a 4-hour order block. And depending on what price does here, well, we haven't taken an actual low, but depending on what price does here, will let me know if we're going to continue up or if we're going to continue down. Based off the daily, I do think we will continue to move on a downside, but again, just depends on what's done in this area. If I'm bringing out my fib, let's see. Yeah, this area is around that 50% or 60% of this particular move, so that will let me know a lot on what we could do. But as far as today goes, obviously you know how I do. I'm a price action trader based off the previous day action, right? So coming into the market, I was definitely bearish until I saw how price was moving, right? So this is what I mean when I say you have to know where you are within the market, because even though I'm basing my trades off the previous day candle, we might not always be bearish just based off that candle, right? That candle may be bearish, but the price action and where we are within a market may continue to push bullish, right? So, for example, today was definitely a bullish day. I marked up my previous day high, my previous day low, but if you can see, we grabbed a lot of liquidity down here, right? So we grabbed liquidity here and also on this side. So for me, I'm like, okay, once we grab liquidity, we are going to eventually push up. Now, how far we push up is going to be, you know what I'm saying, the real test of, you know what I'm saying, if price is going to continue down or not. Again, I'm super bearish. Let me see what the weekly looking like. Yeah, I'm super bearish, but since we did take sell side liquidity, I'm looking for price to retrace and then retrace back down, continue back down in its overall direction. Now, this is a daily right here, which means this could take maybe all week. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not, because this day pushed so like extremely fast. Like, this is one day candle, right? And we already covered Friday's candle and almost Thursday's candle. So it might not take all week. It might be Wednesday when we get that test up in this area, and see if we're going to push down Thursday and Friday, or if we're going to continue pushing up. But previous day candles showed me bearish movement. However, if I go down to the 4 hour, we did not close below this low here, right? So we took liquidity, and we also took liquidity over here. So I'm thinking, because we did not close below, we are going to push up and retest some areas of interest. So I'm like, okay, we're not pushing down today, even though yesterday was bullish. And by the time I got into the market and was able to look at some trades around at 8:30, let me go to the hour, around at 8:30, 9 o'clock time, we had already broken structure and basically broke this order block sitting right here, right? So I'm like, okay, we're not respecting this order block. We obviously want to push higher. So I end up changing my bias to buys, right? Because once we break structure or make a market structure shift, I'm understanding that we probably want to continue higher. So in this 1 hour candle, we did take buy side liquidity up here. We did not close above, but the fact that we did not respect this order block tells me that we want to take more liquidity. So I go to the 15 minute, and my real area of interest was this fair value gap right here, right? Because this is where we had our first market structure shift. So I wanted price to come down. Obviously, CL had different ideas. It wanted to just continue to push. I was not as confident, just because I like to take, regardless if it's the 1 hour, 15 minute, 5 minute, I like to take my entries in a either discount or premium, right? So which means sometimes it's not always going to be that. And today was an example, but the more A plus setups will be that, right? I wanted to come down, test this 200 EMA, and also because this was the area where price had taken some buy side liquidity, I'm knowing price is going to retrace, but I just wanted to retrace a little bit deeper, right? And when I say that, I just mean below the 50% of the move up, right? So if this is the high and this is the low, I wanted price to just come down into this 50% area, sometimes 61%, and that just so happened to be where this fair value gap was sitting. So that was my area of interest, right? Now, I'm realizing that there's also a fair value gap sitting right above that, and that happens to be where price decided it wanted to respect instead of coming back down. Again, I wasn't as confident in this, and that's probably why I was feeling those anxious moments. I got in based off the 5 minute. And as you can see, the 5 minute gave me a bullish closure while taking some liquidity sitting right here, which is what you want to see, right? But because it wasn't in my area of interest, and I knew that, you know, price could come back down into a discount, I'm like, I don't know if I want to risk my full amount, and I don't know if I just feel that confident. So I didn't. I think I got somewhere into that 1-to-1 around this area here. And when this candle closed right here, I ended up just getting out. It was less than a 1-to-1 really. But you can see that price did hit that 1-to-2 and a little bit more. So that is why I got out. I just wasn't as confident, even though it gave me majority of my confluences where, you know what I'm saying, it had a break of structure, took a market structure shift. took buy side liquidity, retraced down into a fair value gap, which was really on the 15-minute, while also taking some liquidity. It gave me all of that. It just wasn't in my area of interest that I wanted. So with that being said, I just wasn't going to be as confident. Now, as you can see, we had no problems hitting TP. So if I would have just held, I probably would have been done for today with just this one. But again, it is what it is. When you feel a certain type of way, you just got to go based off that and not even be mad that it didn't hit your take profit. You know what I mean? I mean that you wasn't in it when it hit your take profit. So that was that one. I do believe that we're gonna come up into this order block here, the 4-hour order block. And then once we get there, because we are under the 200 on the 1 hour, I just don't know what price wants to do. You know what I'm saying? On the 4 hour, we'll be hitting that 200, which makes more sense for me. But on the 1 hour, we're above. So I don't know if price is just going to melt or if we're going to make a lower high. You know what I mean? Like if we're just going to come into that 4 hour, come in right here and then just make a lower high before we continue up. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's what we're going to do, but either way, that was the first trade. Now, the second trade was on YM. YM was similar to today, to be honest with you. I feel like we're going to now be a little bit bullish. We do have some room to come down just because this big old move right here has to get, we have to balance it out, right? At some point, when, I don't know, but at some point it's going to get balanced out, right? If I bring my fib from the low to the high, we're not at that 50% yet. We're really at that 38%. I like to take A+ setups at the 50%. So this is where I would believe we're going to come down to eventually. And then buy up, or, not. We could just shoot up from where we're at. That's possibility because this is a trend, like just a continuation pullback instead of a balancing out type of pullback. But nonetheless, if we go to the daily, right? I see that on the daily we are tapping into, well, really on the weekly we're tapping into this fair value gap, right? Last week we closed a little bearish. However, this bullish candle right here created a huge fair value gap. This is why I feel like we're probably going to come down just a little bit more, but it created that huge fair value gap. In turn, that's why we are bullish right now, just because we tapped into that fair value gap, taking some liquidity as well. And then I do believe that we're going to at least push up into this area before either continuing up or pushing back down. As far as the daily goes, our previous day high and our previous day low, we took previous day low. So the only thing I'm looking for is for price to, at this particular point, since we already took previous day low, I'm looking for price to push back up into some sort of equilibrium, right? So I'm going to take advantage of the buys in the scalp, right? I'm going to take advantage of the buys in this particular point, even though I do feel like we have room to come down. If we're extremely bullish, it's not a bad idea to just, take scalps for the buys, right? At this particular moment. So if I go down to the 1 hour, right? So similar to CL, where price kind of disrespected the order block that was sitting here, I'm like, okay, we might want to go a little bit higher, right? Obviously, price did not want to respect this area. So the next area of interest would probably be this high right here, taking some liquidity. As you can see, we did. Or up in this area right here where we have more liquidity sitting right there, right? And I believe a 2 hour, order block. So that was the reason why I decided to take buys. I missed the buys initially down here just because I wasn't really sure where price wanted to go, right? Like this was a lot of just like wicks and not indecisiveness for me. So I wanted price to at least show me where it wanted to go before I took any moves. Again, I am looking, my bias is buys, right? So just because I'm thinking price may want to come up into some sort of equilibrium before coming down. Like that's just my assumption. So once price did give me a market structure shift, all I'm looking for is price to just retrace back into that area. You know what I mean? Taking some liquidity. Now it did not come all the way down, and that seems to be trend today, where it does not come all the way down into my area of interest, would be this area here, but it did come down and take some liquidity, right? If I go down to the 1 minute, it took some liquidity, right? Obviously, the liquidity sitting right here, but it also left an equal low, which is probably why price did what it did. But I just really wanted a retracement, right? And then if I go to the 15-minute, you will see that we rejected this area a lot, right? So it's more of a support than it was of a value gap type of entry. But regardless, as long as it gives me what I need to see, then I'm gonna get in. Again, I risked very low. For one, it didn't tap my area of interest, which is what I would want right here, but it was close enough to that 200 EMA to where I was like, okay, I'm willing to take it. And then two, it's a Monday and it's the first day on my PA, and I wasn't willing to risk a lot. I want to get a cushion on my PA before I take my full positions. So I ended up making $600 on this particular trade. Again, all I was looking for was a market structure shift. Price come down. I originally wanted to come down, tap into this area, retest this 200 EMA, but it did come down just enough for me and then give me that rejection for me to hop in. I got in off the 1 minute right here. Once price closed and gave me a bullish candle is when I got in. So really here is when I got in, and I just rode it up until these highs here. Now, it didn't look A+ like I would normally want price to look, but sometimes you just got to take what price is giving you. Obviously, not everything is going to look pretty, but again, it gave me a good setup, so I took it. Today and Mondays are usually days where you have to kind of just take what you can get and not try to hold long and not try to look for the perfect setup. Now, sometimes if you don't see it, you could obviously not trade. You know what I mean? That's an option too, but I saw what I need to see for the most part. I already had let CL leave without me. So I was just like, I'm just going to trust what I know and how I feel. And in this one, I didn't have any type of anxiety during this trade. I just felt very calm. So that just made me want to hold even more. And again, I just got out at that high just because I didn't know where price was going to do after that. And it happened to be at that 1 to 2 as well. So that was good enough for me. But yeah, that's it. I didn't really see anything else for the day. This was a long awaited, I think this was a 10 o'clock time. So my first one was around at 9 o'clock and this was around at 10 o'clock. I usually try to wait for the macros for me to enter into a trade. So that was why it just took a couple hours. Usually I'm done before 9:30, 10. But yeah, put myself back on. That's all I had. Those are the 2 trades that I took. I can show you my P&L. I think I'll have to log back in. Let's see. Yeah, I might have to log back in just to show you my P&L again. It was $1,100 day total just because I took a $500 win on the first one and then a $600 win on the second one. Again, risking extremely low. This is a 250K account, right? So 1% is 2,500. I didn't risk a fraction of that just because I'm like, I was only looking for $1,000 day, to be honest with you. I wanted a little bit of cushion to where tomorrow or the rest of the week, if I see a good setup, I can risk what I would normally risk, which would be about 1,000 to 1,500 on a normal day. And then if we're at a beautiful area of interest and everything's just aligned, I'll risk the 1%. All right, let me show you guys over here on my trading view. So here is and this is Apex, by the way. This is what I was able to make for the day. I think the highest I was up was 1,500, but then I ended up just closing once it reversed just a little bit. So $1,100 on a day was what I made, and I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. At least, I have to get this to, with the new rules of Apex, I have to get this to, I think, 9,000 in order to get a payout. Like the buffer. Well, it doesn't have to be 9,000, but if you want to take the max, it has to be around 9,000. I'm always trying to take the max. So, yeah, that's what I am going to end up doing and put myself back up here. And we'll see if that's what we can get. But that's all I have. Today is a Monday, slow Monday, but nevertheless, we ended with a W, and I'm extremely happy about it. I don't have nothing else. I'm trying to think. Make sure you guys tap into my Discord if you're not already. Make sure you guys also tap into the strategy, tap into the one-on-ones if that's what you would like. I've had a lot of people ask me about it, but a lot of people have been, I guess, just waiting. I don't know. So many people asking, nobody's really doing. It is what it is. You guys want it, it's there. You don't, it's cool too. And then what else? I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Vibe blowing at the J, got the loud jumping at the pay. Everything I'm on slab. Everything I do is